Hello, everybody. I'm Jackie Cox, founder of ACE Community, which is Adventure, Creativity, and Enjoyment. And I'm super excited to be chatting with Cathy Graham today of Two Little Blackbirds. So Cathy, welcome. We're so glad to have you here.
Good to be here.
Yeah, awesome. So Cathy is one of our amazing speaker sponsors coming up for camp. We are going to camp for adults, so adult camp experience up in Granby, Colorado in September. And we are we're all set for this year, but we are so excited. Cathy's going to share with us more about networking to build and promote your business. She's going to talk in for 5 minutes about how relationships have helped her along the way. But in the meantime, we're going to definitely get to know Cathy a little bit too. And then we're going to have a fun conversation. Get in. So Cathy Graham doesn't just talk about networking, she lives it. With a self-employed business career spanning 3 decades, she's a testament to the idea that who you know can be just as important as what you know. She's the founder of 2 businesses built exclusively on the foundation of strong relationships and strategic connections. Quick cold calls and sales pitches. Cathy will show you how to build a network that feels authentic, sustainable, and most importantly, profitable. She is passionate about sharing proven methods and helping others transform their networking from a chore into their most powerful business tool. Get ready to learn how to turn conversations into capital and into business breakthroughs. So Cathy Graham, Two Little Blackbirds, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. All right. So Cathy, I know that you've built amazing businesses along the way, and you're super creative and witty. And this is part of the reason that I think we're so, just such a compatible friendship, because I love your wit. I love how quick you are, and I think that comes from a lot of your creativity and your experience along the way. So tell me how you got started, how you first, knew you were very creative, and where that led to you.
Well, back when I graduated high school back in the dark ages, I had 2 things that I just, two career paths I was thinking about. The first one was either graphic design, or the second one was accounting. 2 totally different things.
Wow, those are very different.
Back in the 70s, you didn't get paid for graphic design. So
Sure.
I like to eat. So I chose accounting. And for 20 years, I was an accountant.
Wow.
And hated every minute of it, hated dealing with people, hated dealing with their messy books. And so I had an opportunity. Well, of course, the internet rolled around. That kind of opened up everything for everybody. I'd always had my little side business doing graphic design for friends and businesses and stuff like that. But once the internet rolled around, it was like, hey, here's a new way I can market, and I can be creative, and I can do graphic design. So I went full-time. I went to work for a company that did website design. Beautiful. This was back in the ugly days of website design, where everything was text. And so the guy who owned the business was a serial entrepreneur. And he was also one of those people that wanted to get rich quick overnight. If he didn't get rich quick overnight, he was leaving that for something else.
Oh, wow.
So he decided that he wasn't going to get rich in doing website design. And he said, look, he had a bunch of clients. And he said, look, if you want this, it's yours. The clients are yours. So the next day went into my accounting job and told them, see you later.
Yeah.
And went full-time working with my business, which was Graphics Unlimited, where I did graphic design. And more importantly, at that time, it was website design. I kept that business going for 30 some years, and retired from that back in 2020. Gave that up, and I had also started another business, which was my Two Little Blackbirds.
Yeah.
I do handcrafted soaps, candles, and gifts. And I had started that back 15 years ago. And it was always on the back burner. This is my retirement business. So it's something that I can do on my own. I can do when I want to do. I can be as busy or as not as busy as I want to be. And doing that through networking and my network of people, it makes it easy
Mm-hmm.
to do that. I don't have to be a slave to my telephone. I don't have to be a slave
Sure.
to my email. I have friendships and relationships with my clients, so they all know me. They know
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
that you get what you get.
I love it. I love that. I love that. Yeah, that's awesome. And so, yeah, one of your tagline, or not a tagline necessarily, but when I was asking about your bio, you had said it just cracked me up. And I think this is just in alignment with what you just said about you get what you get. You said, you said, I don't know about my bio, but I've lived a long time, learned shit, and here I am. just, I thought that was so perfect for who you are at the core. I mean, again, that's you get what you get, and I love that, Cathy, because you just make people smile though, because you're just so authentically real, and I think you've earned it. I honestly do.
Well, and the thing is, I learned a long time ago, I don't want everybody as a client.
Right,
And
right.
so often people do not know who they want as a client. I know that
Yeah,
when I would be doing projects for people, my first question is always, who's your target market? Who are
yeah.
you marketing to? Everybody. No, you don't want
Mhm.
everybody. And
Yeah,
so finding that target market and who you want to work with
yeah.
and the perfect match with your business is key to being
Mhm.
successful in your business, successful in networking, is you've got to have that target market. Now, can you have more than one target market? Certainly. You
Mhm.
may have three, you may have four, you may have 10, but you have specific goals and specific people and specific
Mhm.
things that you want to do for each of those target markets.
Mhm.
So sitting down and determining that is something a lot of people don't do. It's
Yes.
they feel like they have, I want to sell to everybody. I want to sell to everybody. I want to be
Right.
rich. I want to go out there and make money. But it's that 80-20 rule. 20% of your clients are
You're
going to
gonna
make you
do.
80% of your money.
That's right.
And
That's right.
80% of those client or and 80% of those clients are going to be
They're not the right
total
fit.
not a good fit for you and your business. And
Yeah.
you're going to waste your time. You're going to waste your energy in
Yeah.
and you're going to end up hating your job because of it, because you're not working with the people who you
Yeah.
work with well and who work well with you.
Absolutely. And so at what point of your career do you feel like you learned that lesson? It's such a valuable lesson. And I think when entrepreneurs or business owners or whomever are starting out, I think it takes them a while to get there because
Yes.
they see the cash register ring right away. And then it's like, oh gosh, this feels good because it's helping my business grow. And you're miserable because you're working with the wrong clients. So at what point in your career did you feel like you learned that and then really stuck to that?
I found that out shortly after I took over the business from the fellow who had owned it before. He was one of those people who had his phone on 24/7,
Ooh.
who would answer your calls if it was the middle of the night.
Oh,
And I am not like that. I
yeah,
work my work
no.
hours, and I made it very clear to my clients right away. My
Yeah,
office hours are 9 to 5. And
good.
if you call after that, I'll pick up with you the next day.
Mhm.
And they kind of weeded themselves out. I
Yeah,
didn't have to do a whole lot of firing of clients.
sure.
Is the people who didn't want to have those boundaries,
Right.
that they kind of weeded themselves out. And I thought, this is actually working out pretty good, you know.
Yeah. Wow, yeah.
I have had to fire clients in the
Sure,
past that
sure.
I have worked with, and it's a very liberating feeling. Once
It
you
is,
do it once,
it is.
it's one of those things where you go, oh, that's great. I want to do that more.
Yeah.
it's got it's kind of like a drug. It's like,
Yeah,
that felt so good. And now I've got my time freed up to work with these other people who I want to work with, who
right.
want to work with me, who are willing to pay me for my time and
That's
effort.
right.
Because in graphic design,
Right.
you're selling a service. It's the
Right.
hardest thing in the world to sell. People will pay any amount of money if they can touch it, if they can feel it, if they can put it in their hand. But if you were doing a service, people don't want to pay for that. It's like
Right.
they get no tangible stuff
Instant
that they can touch
gratification.
and feel, and they don't want to, it's like, I don't want to pay for that. Why are you
Yeah.
charging me so much? And that was one of the things
Right.
that happened with website design. It was on, well, I can go to GoDaddy or I can go to, some other place and I can do my own website for free.
Mm-hmm.
And my response to them was always, please, if that's what you want to do, go ahead and do it.
Mm-hmm.
Invariably, within a week or two, they were back at my door saying, okay, I have spent 120 hours in the past 2 weeks working on my website and I've got nothing done. I
Right.
now understand why you charge what you do. And then,
Yeah.
yes, is it going to take me that long? No, but you're paying for my
That's right.
knowledge and my expertise so that I can get you up and running,
That's
actually
right.
up and running, quickly. And that's what
Yes.
you're paying for. And
Yes.
unfortunately, like I said, a lot of people don't get that. And I still see that happening
Mm-hmm.
today, even with all the service and internet related things. People
Mm-hmm.
just have a hard time spending money on things that aren't things.
Agreed. Agreed. Yep, I hear you. I'm even experiencing that. I mean, not much, but in ACE community, because we have events that we go to, and what they're not seeing though, and I know you see the value of it, Cathy, and I'm so grateful for you on that. What they're not seeing is there's a lot of planning time,
Mhm.
negotiation. There's things that are going into place to get group rates and things like that, and there's time, energy, and money involved in that. And so people, when they see a membership, not just ACE community, but any membership, it's like, well, what are you really getting? Well, you have to understand that there's always a human behind every business. There's always a human, right? And that's why, even in your bio, you talk about it's actually more important about who you know than always what you know. I
Mhm.
truly believe that. If you have a relationship with someone, they're more likely to come into what you're doing, whether it's a service or a product, because it's you. And
Mhm.
it's you that is the face of whatever. And so what you said about, sometimes you have to fire clients and that feels liberating. It does, because then the people that you fired, they don't get you. They didn't
No.
understand you. And I think people forget that piece of it, especially new people coming in,
Mhm.
wanting to start their own businesses and things. And it's like, you got to give, and if you don't set those boundaries, like you talked about up
Mhm.
front, you will get completely run over.
And the thing is, your good clients, you can train them. You can
Yes,
train them to know
yes,
that don't call before 9 o'clock, don't call
right,
after 5 o'clock.
right.
And I got to the point where um I would have people sending me updates, emergency updates on their website at 4 o'clock on a Friday.
Oh dear.
And I'd say, I can't get this done for you today.
Right.
And they'd say, well, I knew about it, last week, but now I really need it because next week this is happening.
Sure.
So I implemented, and it took a while. I implemented where you had to have me all of your changes by end
Sure.
of close of the day on Thursday.
Sure.
And then I only worked half a day on Friday. And only thing I did on Friday was do those website updates.
Sure.
If you sent it to me on Friday or you sent it to me on Saturday, it waited till the next Friday.
Sure.
And it took a while, but once the clients got to know
Yeah.
this is the process,
Yeah.
um, they were all good with it. I
Yeah.
did I lost zero clients because of that policy.
Perfect.
By
Perfect.
setting those things.
Yeah.
And it'll take a while. You'll still get the person who sends it to you on Friday. Um, but it's a matter of training your clients,
Mm-hmm.
just like they
Mm-hmm.
have to train you how they want to be worked with.
Yeah.
So getting that perfect client and getting the client that works well with you is key to really being successful.
Absolutely. And I think that really comes back around to setting your boundaries in place and also your values in place.
Mhm.
If they're not in alignment with who you are, what you stand on, and what you believe in as well for yourself and for your business,
Yep.
then it's not necessarily going to be a good fit. Please do not misunderstand me when I say, I mean, people don't always have to agree on everything.
Mhm.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying there has to be something, a foundation of your business are your values. There has to be something you stand on and stand for, and then they will come to you naturally because
Yeah.
now you've got the right people that are feeling a connection somehow to what you stand on and what you believe in, right? So it's
Yep. 88%, this is a number that people just cannot wrap their heads around. 88% of consumers trust recommendations from people they know above all other forms of marketing.
right.
So you might have the slickest Facebook ad. You might have a television ad that, wins the Super Bowl ads. But it's the recommendations from the people who know you, who've worked
Mhm.
with you, who have experienced your customer service.
Mhm.
88% of those are going to go with a word of mouth recommendation.
It's fascinating.
And how do you get those? Through
You earn it.
networking. Through networking.
Yeah.
To get to know these people, and then
Right.
to know how to ask those people for what you want. So they're
Mhm.
out working for you to become a power partner, they become your golden goose
Yeah,
versus your golden egg. And they're
absolutely.
bringing you those things that you're looking for because you've built that relationship.
Mhm.
They're going to go out there and they're going to talk good about you rather
Mhm.
than talking
That's
bad about you.
yeah. Yeah,
And
absolutely. And
so that's the whole thing with networking, is that you've got
mhm.
the opportunity to put yourself out there,
Yes.
not in a salesy type way,
Oh.
but to talk about what you do, and to once they become a customer, knowing how to ask them for what you
Mhm.
need and what you want, because they're going to be
Yeah.
more than willing to work with you because they want you to stay in business,
Mhm.
because they're doing business with you, so they're going to want you to stay in business.
Yeah.
um so that's the whole thing about networking. It's that word of mouth.
Mhm.
So many people are afraid that, like, well, I got to bring them referrals. Not necessarily. Not necessarily. Maybe you make
Yeah.
an introduction,
Right.
that they're looking for.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. And I mean, networking comes in many forms too. I mean, there are some where, it's like, yeah, first of all, you have to show up. First and
Hmm.
foremost, you have to show up. And you can't be a fly by night. If you're testing out some networking, that's fine. It's okay to
Hmm.
test things out, but you also have to give it at least a few tries at it, at
Hmm.
that same group, to see if it's really a fit for you. If it's
Yeah.
not, then you move on and find something else. Having said that, did you show up and were you fully present those 3 times that you showed up, or whatever the
Yeah.
number is for each person? But you've got to at least give it a go, right? So
Yes.
showing up is number one, I think. And then from there, it's how are you interacting with people? Introverted, extroverted, that shouldn't matter in
Mm-mm.
this moment. How are you interacting with people? How are you bringing a positive presence, or your own authentic self? Whether, maybe it's a joke that Cathy told us that someone remembers, and now it's like, who is that super witty lady that does these candles? Oh, that's Cathy, right? And so it's you start bringing in your sense of you.
Yeah, yeah. And there's so many different types of networking that you can do.
Right.
A lot of people think, oh, it's, standing around making small talk with people, which for me is not the type of networking I
Sure.
want to do.
Fair.
And we call that more casual networking,
Sure.
and I'll be quite honest, the casual networking is more conducive to that extroverted person,
Yes.
because
Agreed.
you're walking up to people. It's going to be things like open houses and happy hours and
Yes.
chamber meetings and things like that, where
Yep. Mhm.
unless you got a wingman. I think that you shouldn't network without a wingman.
I agree.
Uh,
That's a
you
good point.
know, somebody that you can at least look like you're having a conversation with, so that someone can come over and you can go up to them. So you're
I
just
love it.
not standing there.
Yep.
So those kinds of casual networking can be more difficult.
Sure.
Now, if you
Okay.
go with more of a structured networking, where they've got a defined structure, they're focused on building relationships and giving referrals and building community.
Mm-hmm.
Examples: eWomen Network, ACE Community,
Mm-hmm.
BNI. where you've got those formal, um,
There's
kind
at
of
least
systems
agenda,
and
there's something, yes.
systems in place so that you
Mhm,
can, you know, that so that you know that everybody is there for the same reason.
mhm.
And then it's not you selling to them. It's just
Right.
you getting to know them.
Absolutely true. Yes, absolutely. And every networking has a place for someone,
Mhm.
right?
Yep.
Is it always going to be, pointed to ACE community, for example? We're a
Uh-huh.
different, unique type of networking. We are still definitely networking together. We're certainly a different style than a BNI. Not saying
Hmm.
anything's bad about BNI, and I think it's actually serves a really great purpose for a lot of people that are looking to continue to grow themselves, their business, and move forward. Whereas ACE, we're a little bit different, right? Which I love. I love that we're different, but it does hold some structure there,
Hmm.
and there's some meat there as well. And then we do some different activities along the way. So I think there's a place for each individual. I don't want to
Hmm.
use your words from earlier. I don't want to say there's no place. Like I'm not saying I'm for everyone. I'm not looking for everyone. I'm saying I'm looking for the individual who is interested in building community and interested in a unique style of networking.
So you know who your target market is.
That's right. That's right. And so it is. And if you look at our median is mid 40s, but we're anywhere from upper 30s to mid 60s. That's a good range of people. But at the same time, I'm not going to catch the younger 30-year-olds because the activities are not conducive for people that have little children. They're
Yeah.
just not. And the scheduling doesn't allow them to go away from that. Now, there's obviously some exceptions to every single rule. We have one member in our group, she has a 4-year-old daughter. Having said that, her approach to networking is more experienced, I think. And
Hmm.
so yeah, I think that there's a networking place for everyone, and you've got to find the right one that's going to be a good fit for you as an
Yep.
individual. Again,
And that might change over time.
yeah,
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 because like you said, yours is kind of more geared toward that experienced networker,
yes,
where
yes.
BNI takes
Mhm.
somebody who might be fresh in business and has never had to network before in
Right.
their lives,
That's perfect for them.
and gives them that education and structure that
Yeah.
they need to, first of all, to be able to stand up in front of a room and talk
Yeah,
about yourself,
absolutely.
which scares the pants off of some people, um, to do that. And by having to do that
Yeah.
every
Yeah.
week, and the people there will give you feedback.
And guiding you.
If you talk about this versus that, or if you say this versus
Right.
that, so they're helping you build that. So it's a great way for
Right.
those new businesses to start out. But once you get, some of that under your belt, something like eWomen or something
Yeah.
like, ACE Community, not to say that yours wouldn't be for the
Yeah.
person who is just
That's
starting
what I'm
in
looking
business
for
too.
though.
Yeah. So, you know, like I say, your networking needs might change. I mean, I was in BNI
That's
for 25 years.
that's
I have
amazing.
been in eWomen now for close to 10 years.
Has it been that long?
I
Okay.
think I think so. And
Yeah.
then I've been in ACE for less than a year. So, your networking changes, who you're looking for
Yeah.
changes, where you can reach out and touch your target
Yeah.
market and your golden gooses, it's that place is going to change for you as your
It
business
is.
changes.
It is. And I think that networking is obviously something that we as humans, we're social beings. And so that is a chance for you to get outside of your comfort zone just a little bit,
Mhm.
whether that's, as an introvert, you're, making that one conversation with someone that you just have never met, or maybe it's a different scenario, but it just gives you an opportunity. Networking is here to stay. It's not going anywhere. It was a new term in like late 90s, early 2000s. And then all of a sudden it was like, oh, I must network on all the places. No, you don't have to be everywhere either.
No.
Pick
Mm-mm.
your two or three at the most favorite. Don't burn yourself out on networking either.
Mhm.
I often hear people, and as I'm connecting with people, And they're like, oh yeah, I spent the whole month, my whole goal this month was to do a different networking event every single day of the business week. And I'm like, I mean, I'm a high extrovert and that makes me vomit. Like, I mean, it just, whoa, it's you're going to inundate yourself and then you're going to get into burnout of like too many people, too much information, all of the too much stuff. So be careful with that too, right? When it comes
Yeah.
to finding a space that does feel good for you. I mean, I'm in eWomen, I have ACE, and then I check out a few here and there that I will, try to test. I'm not a weekly person. I found that out years ago, and I just weekly coming in from, driving in from conference, make a choice to drive, but weekly just gets to be tough for me. And I know that now. Whereas before it didn't bother me, but now it does.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that structure. I'm just saying it's not for me
Yeah.
at this
I
point.
mean, you've got to figure out what works best for you. I
Yes.
mean,
Yes.
and the only way you're going to do that is to test out those things,
That's right.
and
Yeah.
just give it a chance. Like I said, don't make
Yeah.
that initial, oh, well, I didn't like it. I went one time and I didn't like it, or I went to one chapter and I didn't
Right.
like it. You
Right.
know, give yourself an opportunity
Yeah.
to, for people to at least see your face
Yes.
and to know your name, and and then start building
Right.
those relationships. And excuse me, one of the things that I tell new members at eWomen is
Yeah.
it's not here in the meeting that you're going to make that connection.
No.
It's
No.
going to be at the afterglow. It's going
That's
to be
right.
at the open
At the
networking
bar.
ahead of time. It's going to be at the social events. It's
Right.
going to be at the monthly dinner. It's going to be at the SBIs. It's
Yes.
not going to happen here in the meeting because it's a structured meeting.
Right. Right.
You cannot sit and talk to somebody because, you've got to pay attention to the speaker. You don't want to be rude. Yes, we do have an opportunity 2 times to network,
Yeah.
but it's going to happen after the fact. It's going to happen
Yeah.
more in the social. And that's what makes ACE different. You have that ability, you always have a speaker, but
Yeah.
then we also have that ability to socialize during the meeting. And
Yes.
we have the, little structured groups that we get in
Yeah.
during the meeting. So a lot of that social interaction actually happens in the ACE meeting. So it doesn't have to happen outside of the meeting, like a lot of
Right.
the other structured networking.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's one of those things where it's like, let's continue the conversation. I always encourage that, right? I mean, that's how you've done as well as you have. I mean, your business with Two Little Blackbirds, I mean, people see you, they want you. Now you've got these amazing products as well that are just a piece of and parts of your brand. And it's awesome. But now it's like, oh, you're getting recognition because of there's word of mouth happening, but
Mhm.
you built those relationships. That's the key piece is you've got to deepen those initial contacts. Don't just collect business cards just
Yeah,
to,
don't collect business cards and expect them to,
yeah,
to do business with you. Oh, I
right.
saw you once, you got to do business with me. Well, maybe, maybe I will if I really liked you off the bat, but maybe
Yeah,
not, so
right,
you've got to show
right.
them what you're bringing to the table.
Absolutely,
And
absolutely.
maybe that's great products, maybe it's exceptional service, maybe it's
Right.
fast turnaround. Who knows what each
Yeah,
individual person is looking for in
right.
that business relationship. But
Mhm.
if you got it all,
That's right. Then
you
you've
got it
got it all
all.
figured out. Yeah, exactly, exactly. Oh my gosh. Yeah, this is such a great topic, Cathy, and we're so excited to have you at camp as one of our speaker sponsors. And so I'm super grateful for you for that. For diving in and just saying, hey, if anybody, I love how you approached it because you're like, if anybody's, not talking about networking or marketing, I would love to do that. And I knew you'd be such a great fit for that because you've got the experience, you've got the knowledge, you've got the expertise behind it. You've built 2 successful, amazing businesses, and so it's going to be, I mean, our campers are really in it for a treat when they hear you. And so this is, I mean, that's the whole thing around
They got to
camp.
bring their pencils. We're going to have homework.
Yeah, awesome. I love it. I love it. Yeah, I did put it as a notebook, and it was part of my long list that I sent all of our campers yesterday. um, but bottom line is, I encourage everybody to be connected and feel that network grow and build for you, whether it's an ACE community or somewhere else. But Cathy, we're super excited to have you at camp and as our speaker sponsor. And our campers are in for a treat for sure, for
Well,
sure.
I can't wait for camp.
I know, we're so excited. We're going
Camp,
to
we're going to
camp.
camp.
We're going to camp. We started saying that very early on. We're going to camp, and I just think it's stuck now, which is amazing. And so, yes, basically adult camp or summer camp for adults. So if you ever had that experience or didn't, and now is your chance to feel that connected to a small group of people where it's like, okay, we're sharing a cabin and we're going to get to know each other. If we don't already, we will get to know each other for sure. But so that's camp coming up. But normally our ACE community, we do a monthly activity and we do our monthly meetings, which is what Cathy and I have been talking about as well. And so it's a different type of networking. It's still networking, but I think it's networking with a twist, because I believe that we need to have more fun in our lives. And so I think that gives people a chance to breathe a little, let the hair down, and then we're having a fun experience in the process. And so I think that's where it all started. So again, ACE community, adventure, creativity, enjoyment. And I have a new website, which I haven't officially launched. It's launched, but I haven't officially announced. But it's ace-community.com. And all of our, there will be an email going out eventually, but for now it's ace-community.com. And and that to your point, that's networking too. I had someone that I met at networking. We got to know each other a bit. And now Nathan Pearson has built an amazing website for me. And so super excited about it. So anyway, Cathy, any last words you want to tell our audiences? Actually, how can they get in touch with you? What's the best way to get in touch with you?
Best way to get in touch with me is to go to my website, twolittleblackbirds.com, and the two is spelled out. You can reach me there. Phone numbers are there, contact form if that's easier for you. And follow me on Facebook, Two Little Blackbirds.
Yes, awesome. Well, and Cathy has amazing products, and I'm just drawn into what Cathy has to say, because I know I'm going to get a good laugh every single time I talk to her. And so everybody, you should be going to, connect with her, twolittleblackbirds, plural.com, and make sure you check out what Cathy's up to, and certainly follow her as well. So Cathy, thank you so much for your time and energy today. We certainly appreciate you.
Thanks, Jackie. I appreciate you.
Absolutely. All right. Well, everybody have a great day, and we'll see you soon. If you're still interested, we still have room for our meeting next Wednesday, September 3rd, 4 to 6 p.m. at Bucket List Tavern in Castle Rock. So check out a unique type of networking with us. All right, everybody. Have a good day.